Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is in your part of the world. So what are we rambling about today? Let's talk about different styles of boats. So you decided you're going to buy one, and now you're wondering what one. Right, there are roughly three, with one more, and then there's the realm of the bizarre. So there's probably 5 different styles. 4, and the remaining one is going to be different styles of boats, but let's talk about narrowboats anyway. So the first style of narrowboat is going to be the traditional boat. That's going to be the one where there is very little space on the back of the boat. Okay, what it will be is the metal shell will be as long as it can possibly be. There'll be a small space on the back that can accommodate 2 people, okay, at a tight squeeze. We're talking minimal amounts of space, as minimal as possible. Generally, you'll normally see one person on the back there driving it, the other person will be inside the boat doing tea or whatever. Very rarely see 2 people on it because the space is so limited. Let me show you a picture of that style of boat. There you go. You see that? Quite limited space wise. Now, the traditional boats used all of the cabin space that they had, and they would normally live in a small space at the back, and that's because they wanted to maximize the amount of space the boat used for them to make a living. So you'd have a whole family of 3 people, maybe 4, in a tiny little space at the back, and the rest of it would be canvasly covered, and it would be like taking whatever it was back and forth from place to place for making themselves a living, basically. So traditional boats are basically going to have the maximum amount of internal space. But the thing is, as you go in the doors, you're going to find the engine's going to be inside the boat rather than in the bilge outside. Okay, these boats are quite expensive normally because they're traditional, and people want them. People like to tinker with their engines, so if you like messing about with your engine and keeping it clean and tidy and it being your little project hobby, it's basically going to be right there in front of you and not in your bilge where you have to go in there and lift up the floor and it's dirty and there's spider webs and God knows what in there. It's going to be like on your left or right hand side depending on where your doors are. And the engines in those sorts of boats are very well kept because you can maintain it very easily. You can paint the engines very easily. You can do modifications to your engines very easily. Repair people will love you because they can just come in the boat and just start getting their spanners out and get on with it. Do you know what I mean? So I'll show it to you again. That's the traditional back part of the boat. So you're limited to how many people you can have on the back deck. Okay, alright, so it's more for space than for purpose on the back. The second boat, okay, is the semi-traditional. Now that encompasses almost the same amount of space, but some of it is taken up with an area that could be seen as a safe area for children. So if you're standing at the back, the enclosed area with the sides on it would be very safe for children or pets. So here is that particular style of boat. You see, you could have your friends standing there, or you could have your children at the front and you could be here safeguarding them. You could even put a door over there if you wanted to. I'm sure it probably already comes with one. It's not on there, but you could use it as storage for your wood, your coal, and your kindling and other stuff. See, so from the friend's perspective, having friends over, there's a lot more room for that particular purpose. You see, so that space would probably be where your engine would be on the traditional boat, somewhere in this area here as you come in. So they're more friendly for family and relatives and enjoying cruising the canal as a group. And the next one, that's your cruiser. That's got a huge deck, okay, compared to the last two. So you can have a few friends out there. They come round like that, or they're square. This here is a seating area, so when you're driving the boat you can sit there. You can have one person there, one person there, one person there, two at the front. You know, there's plenty of room. The only downside is the fact that to get to your engine you have to go in here, and being as long as they are, these cost more money for covers. Okay, you're looking at £1.5 for a cover for this area. It's fully recommended because you don't really want water in there and having to deal with it constantly. So this is the super friendly boat for leisure use and for families because of the space at the back. Some of them are even longer than that. And you have proper seating areas out there. I mean, the wide beams, they have like whole sofa areas out there and stuff, you know. So that's your cruiser. So those are the three main ones. The fourth one is your Springer, okay? And they will generally come like that, just like the cruiser, the long back deck, okay? But they have the V-bottoms. And most people say, oh, don't buy Springers, you know, but don't listen to them, okay? So long as it's well looked after, and if someone has done a good job of plating on it, you know, it's as good as any other boat, okay? And the fifth one is the realm of the weird, basically. I mean, there are your fiberglass cruisers, okay? They're not narrow boats, but they're used on a canal. Fiberglass cruiser boats, various different sizes. You've got lifeboats that are used, those big orange things. I quite like those. You've got Dutch boats, Dutch barges, that have a round bottom. The problem with those is they're limited in space. There's generally a centre cabin, and the front and the back is another space, but head height is an issue. So you'll have the centre will be like that, and then two areas each side will be lower for sleeping in and for lounging in. So both for sort of sitting down, and they're rounded on the bottom. So when it comes to welding them, welders tend to look at them like in the sense of how the hell am I going to weld that, you know. It's not as easy as putting a square plate and just getting your welding equipment out and just tacking it up. It's round on the bottom, you know, and generally quite well dented as well. So you have to do it in these strange strips and like triangle shapes and stuff like that, and it's just a bit awkward. So it can cost you more money because it's more time to do it. So those are the basic boats. I'll go through them again just to show you. Your traditional, small space at the back, just enough room to drive the boat. Semi-traditional, bit more room, safer for your kids or for elderly people, okay. Your cruiser, nice big back space, sit out there in the summer, yeah. If you don't want to be on a towpath, getting in people's way, or them getting in your way, you know, you can use that space there quite adequately. And it is nice to have friends when you're cruising down the canal on the boat with you. You can have a nice drink at the same time. You could even have a barbecue on the back of your boat if you wanted to. And then basically what I said before, the cruisers, the lifeboat, the Dutch barges. There are really big barges on the canals occasionally that come from the Thames. Not very often, but you do see them. Yeah, so those are the basic styles of boats. I hope that helps. If you have any questions regarding what I've said, leave them in the comment below, and I will see you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.